And good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Perspectives. I am Darren Jaime, and coming up tonight on Perspectives, we go front and center in the world of politics with the presidential election 2008. The primaries are just about wrapping up all across the country, and the question is going to be who is going to be the Democratic candidate in the race for president, with on the Republican side, John McCain, a virtual lock for the Republican seat. The question now becomes, where do we go from here? And exactly on the Democratic side, who is actually going to be the Democratic nominee? Our guest in studio to try to piece a few of these things together is one person that we know knows politics. His name is Marriah Starr. He's a political analyst for us here at BronxNet, and he's been on the Open Show as well, but he's also a professor at Lehman College. And we thank you for joining us, Marriah.
My pleasure.
Look.
It is indeed, because if Barack Obama is able to win Pennsylvania, the last big state, Clinton no longer has any claim to the logic of carrying big states. You know, she carried New York, she carried California, she carried Texas and Ohio. Pennsylvania is the last big state, and she's been saying, hey, if I can carry Pennsylvania, I've got all the big states. Whereas Obama still carried Illinois, Georgia, Virginia, Colorado. Those are also pretty sizable states. So it all comes down to Pennsylvania, which is a critical swing state as well.
Welcome back to Open, BronxNet's interactive morning show. I'm your host, Nicholas Boston. The 2008 presidential campaign seems to be loaded with issues and questions, as always. And right now, a big question is, who will be the next president? Of course, no one knows, but here to discuss the campaigns and the candidates are political experts, political science professor Marriah Starr, and joining us on the phone is Armin Meyer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pleased to be here.
Great to see you. Now, tell me, who is your pick for Democratic frontrunner, Democratic ticket holder?
I would choose Barack Obama, senator from Illinois. Three basic reasons. First, the presidency has relationships with three institutions: the executive branch, the Congress, and the American people. The executive branch requires intelligence, the Congress requires experience, and the American people require personality, charisma. Barack Obama has all three.
And how would you say, one would think that, front-running candidates or prominent candidates will, by virtue of being in the position that they are, have those three characteristics. How does Senator Obama sort of go ahead of the pack in a sense, ahead of, say, for instance, Hillary Clinton?
Well, Obama makes up for lack of experience in the United States Senate with experience as an organizer, a community organizer in Illinois. He also has a great deal of charisma. People like him. They like to see him on television. They like to see him giving speeches. So he has automatic clout when it comes to passing legislation.
And you're back here on Open. Darren Jaime here with you. Yesterday, the 2008 presidential campaign took a major step forward as 24 states held primary elections to help determine who will represent each party in the general election. Had some surprising state-by-state results that left the Democratic candidates in a tight battle. Professor Marriah Starr of Lehman College is here to give us more insight, and good to have you here.
Nice to be here again. Thank
When
you
you talk about Super Tuesday was considered to be, in many aspects, the final, or actually the finish line in the race for the Democratic and the Republican nominations for the presidency. We do know out of the Republican Party there was a clear front runner.
Yes.
Democrats still up in arms, well, not up in arms, but up in the air, I should say, as to who their candidate is going to be. In regards to this had to be number one, a Super Tuesday, and two, are you surprised by the results?
This was a Super Tuesday. By any measure, you're correct. It's a historic Super Tuesday. Never before in the history of the United States have 22 states voted simultaneously on a single day for a primary. What you have is a very strong debate starting in the 60s of what is the proper role of the church in society. You have Vatican II with the Catholic Church. You have liberation theology with the Protestant Church. And those two forces, they're liberating forces on the one hand, but you had a very strong reaction from Protestants in the Christian society in the U.S. saying, well, if they're going to be pushing social justice, as Martin Luther King was doing, or as other Catholic ministers were doing. Well, we want to maintain order. We want to maintain doctrine. And so what's happened is that there has become this new movement to establish doctrine, to establish very strict guidance, strict adherence. So.
Hello again, and thank you again for joining us. Darren Jaime here with you. You're watching The Bronx, Your Voice, Your Vote 2008. We are answering all of your election questions, as well as being joined by political contributors Miguel Perez, Bob Nolan, and Marriah Starr.
These who would face the same situation. The complexity of the problems and the depth of the problems are so great, neither nominee would be able to handle it. I mean, this is way more than Mitt Romney, a businessman, could handle. This is way more than any policy analyst like Clinton could handle. Everyone's in the dark. Even recent Nobel Prize winner Paul Krugman said, I have no idea what's going to happen next. Because we're all interconnected. And every single part of the economy that we thought was here, the banks, commercial spending, everything is going down. So we have a situation here where you have politicians who are expected to do something, and they haven't a clue. No one has a clue at all. So we're facing the unknown here. And I don't see any reason to doubt that Obama would do a worse job than Clinton.
Generation Engage is a nonpartisan youth civic engagement initiative that connects young Americans to political leaders. And here now to tell us a little bit about the initiative is our political correspondent Marriah Starr and outreach coordinator Jason Page and Ariel Noreen Sims, right?
Right.
There you go. I'm doing good with names today. And we welcome you guys to the show. And
Nice to be here.
Starr, good to have you again. Tell us a little about this.
Well, Generation Engage is collaborating with the Lehman College Political Club. It's a club that I started last semester. Ms. Serena Singh is the president, and the whole purpose of the club is to interface nonprofit organizations and social businesses with the Lehman College community and the CUNY system, the City University of New York. And so we have interacted with Generation Engage to open up engagement strategies, interacting students with political figures, as well as helping them to become more engaged in their communities. And so that's why I'm excited to have Jason here to talk more about that.
And I got